Hello YouTube, Cassette13 here, back again with episode 2 of Really Shaky Camera and Scott Strike. I guess this is going to be a build series of this bike. I'm just going to show over some new parts. As you can see, I have wheels, I have a cassette on that wheel. What's I got down here? I've got a seat post over there, I've got a seat post clamp on there, the top half of the headset is actually on the bike now, the bottom half is yet to be hammered in. You can hammer them, you can clamp them however you want. I've also got a chain. I've also, the biggest thing is I've got cranks. I don't know how well you can see that. It's pretty dark. In fact, let me turn the light on. That might help. Ooh, flick. Right, let's see how much of a difference that made. A little bit. Those are my new cranks. I have Shimano Z's. Yes, they are secondhand. But they're in remarkably good condition. The bottom bracket that was already in the bike spins really nicely. I do have a spacer to go in there so I can get rid of this derailleur, because I won't be using that, the front mech or derailleur, whatever you want to call it. And I've just knocked over a broom that's behind me. But yes, this is what we've got. So, FSA K-Force carbon fibre stem, which I think looks absolutely brilliant. Over here we've got, it's like a cheap eBay seat post clamp, but it's just a clamp, so, you know, it is carbon fibre, again, just keeping that overall weight down. It's not going to make much difference, but hey, it does make a difference. The chain I've gone for is this rather nice SRAM 9-speed, because I'll be running a 1x9 setup. Yeah, it should do the trick just well. Hopefully it will fit, it should be absolutely fine. We've got a SRAM, I can't remember the exact code for it, cassette, which I've already put onto my wheel. Really, really nice and shiny. Really nice, actually. Very much like that. I'm hoping that'll index quite nicely and go for all the gears very well. Here, this was on my other bike, so I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I probably won't be running it on the Scott, but my half-link chain on this bike, this is the broom I just knocked over, let me move that a second. Yeah, the half-link chain that's on this bike is too fat to fit through there, and it was rattling like mad, so it's driving me nuts, so I can't be using that. The wheels are on, are they Giant branded hubs? It is a branded hub. It's not a particularly great hub, but it should do the trick. Again, just black aluminium spokes, and they're not steel, they're aluminium ones. And some Alex rims, just rims. It's not too expensive a wheel set, but it should do the trick just fine for this. If I break anything, I will always upgrade it. That's very much my philosophy with things, is I'm happy to use cheap stuff, because the way I see it, if I break it, and if it breaks, that's the stuff I know I need to upgrade. If it doesn't break, then I know the cheap stuff is good enough, so it's not really worth paying too much for. Like, these hubs spin really nicely and freely, and they're fully serviceable, and they're nice, so I'm quite happy with them, and they weren't overly expensive. I'm using a fair amount of second-hand bits with this. There's two reasons for that. One is keeping costs down, because building a decent bike is going to be expensive, and the forks I want are very expensive, I mentioned in the last video. Not only that, but with second-hand stuff, you're kind of guaranteed that it's been tested. If that makes sense. If you're buying from a dealer that you trust, and someone you've had a lot of speaking to, and they seem to know what they're on about, then you know what... Sorry, I had to sneeze. Then you know what you're buying from them is actually going to function, because they've been using it. By the way, I have hay fever, in case you didn't notice, and my window is open. Up there somewhere. So, this is not good, because I live on a river, and yeah, I can't do anything without sneezing right now. But yeah, this is the current sort of situation we're at. Most of my spending so far has been on tools. So, as you can see, I've got like a chain whip, and bottom bracket remover, cassette tool, and various things right there. That's an internal bottom bracket for a square taper. Chain tool I already had. I've got a bigger pipe wrench, because the one I had wasn't big enough to go onto this. Because, in case you want to know, that is the dinky little one I had. And that's what I have now. Bit of a difference in size there between those two. What else have I bought that's new? Crank puller, I believe I already had. I do have a lot more stuff on the way. So I've got my seat on the way, which I'm very much looking forward to. I've got my chainring on the way, which is going to be a 34-tooth oval chainring. I can't remember the exact company, but it's that company that makes loads of oval chainrings that everyone is really raving on about at the moment, or was about a year ago. And it's that, I can't remember what the company is called, but it's going to look really cool. I wanted an oval front end, so that will be nice. I've got, what else have I got on the way? I've got the 4 bolts to hold the chainring on. Yeah, I've got a few other bits as well. Oh yeah, I've got the quick release skewers for the front and rear wheels. Some nice red ones. In case you can't tell, I'm going for a very red and black theme with this build, which I think is going to look really good. I've got tyres. Now, what's going to happen with tyres is, for those of you who do not know, this here is my Rock Rider 5.1 project bike. Not project bike, my sort of, the bike I ride everywhere, every day, all the time, constantly. And the camera's focusing. These are new tyres on it, Maxxis Minion DHFs. They're both fronts because I like the way the fronts grip. I've had them before and they are brilliant tyres. Another new addition is that little mudguard, which I quite like. But yeah, these tyres are actually going to go onto that bike, and what's going to come onto this one is the old tyres. The Maxxis Igniters are going to go back on this. They are pretty worn out and they're losing their tread very quickly, but for now, I want the big tyres on the Scott while I sort of learn what that bike is like. It's nice to have good tyres. I'll probably buy another set of not quite so aggressive tyres, because I don't really, once I've got the Scott, I probably won't be riding this quite as hardcore, so I'm probably actually going to tone this bike down a little bit once I've got the Scott. I mean, I'll probably raise the seat up a bit, flatten it out a bit, I might even chuck some gears on it, and a rear brake? Yes, a rear brake is coming. I've got an adapter on the way, so it will have a rear brake soon. That's an Avid BB5 at the front band there. So yeah. The other thing is what I'm planning to do, because the forks I want for this bike are uber expensive. I mean, they're really expensive. I want some Pace RC41 fighters, are what I want for this bike. I can't afford those. So what I'm planning to do is, when it's all but the forks built up, I'm going to stick these forks on it. My sort of custom painted Suntour hybrids, because I've modified the internals and stuff. I'm going to stick those forks on it, just so I can get used to how it rides. I just really want to give it a ride and see how it goes. And until I see a set of these Pace C41s, because they're old forks, they're carbon fibre, they're very expensive, and I can't find any on eBay. Now the problem I have is the steerer tube is really long on this bike. I mean, I need forks that are about 210mm of steerer just to get up to about here. So I want it up about here so I can run a spacer below, because I do like running. I do like gear to adjust it up and down. I could always run a riser stem and riser bars. That would do the same job, which it looks like I might have to, because most of these forks have about 180mm, and that comes up to literally about there. So they're not long enough. Yeah, so I will work it out. It's not a removable steerer on those forks, so I can't just replace it. Anyway, have a wonderful day. This has been Carstone13, and this is my sort of shelf of many bike things. Many bike things. And look how shiny. Look at how shiny it is.